Have you noticed that sometimes your body might click if you've moved a certain way, or that your friend clicks or cracks by themselves every time they move? Their ankles might click or their wrists might click. Well, I'm going to let you know how you know whether it's safe and if it's okay, or whether you should get some professional help to see what it's about. See, the body does click in different ways for different reasons. The most common reason, if you are moving on your own, is often if you've got a tendon, and a tendon is a piece of connective tissue that connects your muscles, your muscle fibers, to the part of the bone that it needs to connect to activate. So that tendon, if it's tight because of the tight muscle, so it's quite taut, then that tendon might flick over a bit of bone that might create a clicking or popping sensation. That often happens a lot in the shoulders because we've got some tough or very, very tough tendons around the shoulder area, and we've got those of bony lumps and bumps around the shoulder area too. So it's very common for that to happen in the shoulders. Now, in the short term, if it happens occasionally, it's not so much of a big problem. However, if you tend to be quite active and you're doing certain movements on a regular basis and that keeps clicking all the time, then you might be more prone to tendonitis, which is inflammation of the tendon. That can be very painful, uncomfortable, and you may have to stop some activities for a little while until you recover. So it may be worth then getting checked out too. A simple way of getting that sorted out though is often because you need to then loosen off that tight muscle. But what I would do as a chiropractor and an osteopath is check, why is that muscle tightening up in the first place? So we're going to see, is it because of some sort of spasming, so it's trying to protect something? Or is it because of misuse and imbalance within the body? So we need to correct that underlying cause too. Other reasons our body can click is if for any of those joints that are quite stiff or tight, if they kind of move a little bit further in more range, then it might just separate just gently enough for a bit of gas to release out, and that clicking or popping sound is made from that gas releasing out, and that can often sound a bit like the videos that you see when I'm adjusting my patients. They're a very similar way to that. The difference though between when we move ourselves and the ones that you see in my videos is that when I do it on my patients, I'm doing it on the specific joints that need it, whereas when we move ourselves, it tends to be often the ones that are already moving too much. In that case, if that does happen quite a lot, you might need to get it checked out so we can make sure that those joints aren't overworking too. Now, there's also a common myth that do we get arthritis if, my friend keeps clicking the knuckles, for example? So would they get arthritis more often? The truth is that's actually quite a myth. It's not actually real. The thing I think, this is my opinion, I reckon that arthritic or arthritis myth has come from the fact that, and when talking about arthritis, by the way, there's many different types of arthritis. In this instance, we're talking about osteoarthritis, so degeneration of joints. And I think it comes from a place where when we do click on any of those joints, or those joints are adjusted or they cavitate, which is that popping sound, it increases the activity and flexibility in those joints. When that happens, I suppose, if you were to click your knuckles and you happen to catch your finger somewhere, it would maybe be more prone to injury. And if you're prone to injury in a certain joint, you may be more predisposed to having arthritis in there in the future. So I think that's where that myth has come from. But certainly, if you're getting done by a professional, then in most cases you haven't got any concerns or anything to worry about really. I hope you found this useful. Please remember to follow us on all our social media channels at Trishul Vardy and at Avid Clinic. And I hope you found this useful to share enough as well with your loved ones too. Thank you.